This is Jamaica5288. Welcome to my journey. So, you know I talked about some fried apple pies. I hope you get that video before you get this one because this one might come out soon because I cannot wait. I can't wait. So, McDonald's used to sell some fried apple pies, and I believe that was the best thing on their menu. I was one of those Mickey D's girls. I used to work there when I was, 16? Yeah, I was one of them. So that was my first job, Mickey D's. So we're going to try to duplicate it because they don't sell them anymore. They're not fried anymore. And you know, I'm nostalgic. I like things the old way, even though, you know, the U.S. or someone must have said that they were unhealthy. I know there's a lot of unhealthy things, but them fried apple pies were good. They were good, and they should have kept them on the menu. So let's try to duplicate it. We could either do it as well or better. We'll see. So let's get to it. Let's make our fried apple pies the easy way. I'm not making any stuffing. No. Okay, let's go on with the list of ingredients. Am I yelling at you guys? I don't mean to. I'm sorry. So for the crust, we're gonna have some flour, some baking powder, salt, and some water. For the inside, because I'm not making the inside, because I had this in the shelf in the pantry. This is from Dollar Tree. I got it for $1.25. I'm not sure if they still sell it. I got it about a year ago, so you know, it's probably still there. Allspice and some cinnamon. So let's get started, okay? Okay, first thing we're gonna make is our shell. We need 2 cups of flour. This is 1/3 cup. And I am being liberal with this thing. I need 6 of these. And this is number 4. 5. And this is number 6. Flour done for now. Then I need about a teaspoon, and I'm using you know, a regular old teaspoon. A teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder, not baking soda. If you're using baking soda, it's 1/3. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 of these equal 1. So 3 teaspoons of this, or a tablespoon, equals 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So if you're going to use baking soda, split it by 3. 1/3 less than this, okay? You can use baking soda. So we need some salt. I'm going to use about, let's see how much salt. Oh, see, it's a good thing I use that. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix that in. So we're going to mix all our dry ingredients together. We'll push this to the side. Flour we're going to need again. Not for a little while, but we'll need it. We will need N-E-E-D, not K-N-E-E-D. We'll need it again. So mix this together. So we don't get a patch of salt or a patch of baking powder. Make sure that I mix it up. That salt was a little clumpy, but it's okay. I hope you all are having a good week. I could say this is for Meatless Mondays, but I don't know. The vegans might get mad at me because this is not necessarily healthy. And let me see what's in here. Corn syrup, food starch, citric acid. I don't see any meat, any kind of byproducts of any dairy or meat in any of this stuff, but I'm not doing it from scratch this time because, you know, I had this available in the pantry. And sometimes you got to use what you have. So this is what I'm going to use. $1.25 for this big can, man. I was happy. I got more than one of those and I need to use them. So here we are. Okay, let's get some water. Because we did not scale this, I'm just eyeballing it. Currently, I have 2/3 cup of water. It's going to take at least a cup of water, but I want to incorporate it slowly because we didn't scale the flour. We didn't weigh the flour. So everybody's measurements are going to vary. And this is all-purpose flour that I'm using. All-purpose. You don't have to use all-purpose. You can use bread flour, but you may not get the same results. Okay, it's getting clumpy like that. See that? It's clumpy. I'm gonna put some more water in there. 1/3 cup. It may take a little bit over that. It looks like it will. And I'm gonna mix it in. The only reason why I'm not using my hand yet is because I don't want to get dough all over my hand. So I always start it off like this. Try not to make a mess. I always start it off like this and then use my hand. My hands are clean, by the way. Make sure you wash your hands. You don't want to get any debris in there, or if your hands, or if you're a gardener like me and you get dirt under your nails and you're unable to get the dirt from under your nails, go ahead and put some gloves on. The last thing you want to do is bite into a crunchy fried apple pie, and there be more than a crunch in there. It'll be, soil or something in your mixture or in your pastry. So we're gonna take this. I'm gonna fold it over. You see, I'm taking my hand and I'm moving it over on itself. I learned this technique when we were making pasta in school. We put the egg in the middle and we keep on moving the what was it? We used, what kind of stuff it was, I forget. But we would take our flour, which was not regular flour, and we would push it in on itself into the middle of the bowl until the egg got absorbed. And that's how we made our pasta. Get some more water. Now I'm not putting 1/3. I'm putting way less than 1/3 in there because I just want to pick up what was left behind. And this is going to be a semi-moist dough, not like a cake mix. It will be similar to, it's like a bread dough, a moist bread dough where the flour is together, but it's not dry. You don't want a dry dough for this. And this, what I'm doing, is considered a quick bread. This falls under the quick bread, just like a biscuit or dumplings. Basically, this is a dumplings mix, and that you can use for anything. I love this recipe. And it's easy. Your kids can do this. You just have to wash and make sure they don't burn on your hands. Well, fry it for them, because I remember when I was a little girl, and I wasn't a little girl, I was a teenager, and I had a brother who was about 6-7 years younger than me, and he was an early riser. He would wake up. I remember when he was in a carrier, he would wake up at 6 in the morning. Baby, been like this all his life. He's still like that. 6 in the morning, that baby's eyes were open. He wouldn't make no noise. He'd be just up and looking around. And I used to wake up, and my mom would be in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Everybody else asleep. That baby was up. She said, well, he wakes up early, so I have to get up with him and feed him because he's hungry. Well, he used to wake up early in the morning. He was about 6. And he used to wake me up and say, can you cook me some oatmeal or cook me some cream of wheat? So this one particular morning, he woke up, and apparently I didn't get up, or nobody would get up to fix him anything to eat. So he tried to do it himself. Now he was about that high off the stove. See my hand? About that high off the stove. Imagine this little kid determined that he gonna cook. What did he cook? He cooked cream of wheat. Cream of wheat is runny. All I know is I hear screaming coming from the kitchen. Everybody wakes up at the same time because we hear this little kid screaming. And he cooked it, but he couldn't get it off the stove, and he tipped the pan and it drizzled all the way down his chest. They had to run him to the ER. He had burns on his chest for a long time. He had like a big old brown spot on his chest for a long time. They didn't keep him. Because my mom, she just started crying. And, asking, why didn't somebody help him? And I was like, nobody knew he was up. He always got up early and no one else in the house did. And no one knew he was in the kitchen clinking and clanking around like that. I would have got up. I felt so bad. I blamed myself for that a long time, but then I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't his parent. Although, he used to come in there and beg me to cook him something to eat. But that happened on the weekend. Everybody was home. So, oh boy, things. You have to be careful with your children. You have to watch them like a hawk. Because they will get up. My girlfriend, she had, and I'm kneading my dough as I'm talking to you. She had 2 foster children, right? And these kids apparently had been left alone. That's how they found them. Alone in the apartment, and their mom was gone partying or doing whatever she was doing, right? And so I'm going to call her name Janet. Janet used to put a baby gate up at their doorway because she wanted them. And the thing is, this lady had a 2-story, and she was a foster mom. She had a 2-story, and she put a baby gate up because she wanted to know when they got up. And she said she was a light sleeper, right? And the baby gate was up. So she basically said, okay, I got them. They had their own room. There was a little boy and a little girl. And the boy they weren't even, I don't remember them ever saying a word. They were 2 and 3. They were really, really pretty kids. Really pretty kids. And they didn't talk and they didn't give no problem, except they were sneaky. Sneaky, or they were escape artists, because she said that, I told her the story about my brother, and she got really upset, right? Because she could envision that happening with them. And as a foster mom, you don't get second chances with other people's kids. You better watch them, people. You better watch those babies for your life's sake. They'll put you in jail. She said she would hear the TV going downstairs. Those 2 little kids will go to the kitchen, find the snacks, turn on the television, and be eating in front of the television when she came downstairs. They climbed over the baby gate. So she put a camera up to find out how they were getting out. She said she couldn't believe that they were getting out. And she said it was like the little girl was a cat. And she would climb over the fence, over the baby gate, and then help her brother over. He would start climbing. He would climb over, and she would heave him over the gate. And then they would run their little butts downstairs and they knew where the snacks were, because they were with Janet a long time. They knew where the snacks were, and they would go to the snacks. They knew how to turn the TV. They knew how to work the remote. The only thing that they didn't do was talk. They didn't talk. I don't know if their mom used to tell them to be quiet and she cowed them down. I don't know. But they were smart, too smart for their own good. There is such a thing. I feel so bad for some parents, because I remember one time I was driving. I was in the military, right? And I was stationed at Fort Knox. And I lived in a place called Gaffey Heights. So I'm coming through the housing area, and some of the houses were on a hill, like the people's front yard would be up, and I'm envisioning this now because this was scary. They were up on a hill, and the hill would go down, and then it would be the street. And this was a main road into the subdivision. I'm gonna call it a subdivision, even though it was a housing area. One morning, and there were signs posted. I don't think we could go over 15. It was really, really low. 15 was too high. 15 miles an hour in the car was too high. One morning, coming back from PT, which is physical training, right? So we go to PT around 6 in the morning. And we finish around 7, and then I go back home, and I put on my uniform. Well, this morning, I'm driving, and I was always afraid that somebody's kid was going to be out. I always thought about stuff like that for some reason. And I'm driving, I'm creeping through the neighborhood, and this little 2-year-old, maybe 3, was on his Hot Wheel or whatever that bike, that low bike. It was like plastic, and it was low to the ground. I don't know if it's called Hot Wheel, because I don't have any kids. But he was on his little baby motorcycle, the plastic one that you pedal like a tricycle, except it was low to the ground. It was plastic and had a big wheel in the front and two. I could see him. Man, he was at the top of one of those hills, and luckily everybody had not came back from PT yet, physical training yet, because usually the streets are lined with cars. God was on my side and that baby side. That baby was on the top of the hill, and he was on his little Hot Wheel, and he pedaled and zoom went straight into the street where I was driving. I saw him from a distance. I said, "Oh no, not today! Thank you, Jesus. Thank you," because I would have been a stranger. I can't. Kids, no. Grown people, okay, they on their own, but babies. So, zoom, he went across the street. So he gets to the other side. After he gets to the other side, his mother, who is like haphazard, her hair is all jacked up. She runs out. She got her night clothes on. She was a mess, a hot mess. And you should have saw the fear in her eyes. You should have saw it. I don't know how he got out the house, but she apparently did not know, because that woman was not dressed. She came out, she had basically a slip on. It was cold too. It basically a slip on. Her hair was all jacked up, and she could tell she was up. But apparently maybe she went to go do something. The little baby decided that he was going, his Hot Wheel must have been outside. He opened that damn door, apparently, and got on his Hot Wheel and went for a joyride that could have cost him his life. So I stopped. She got her baby. She dragged her baby up and put him on her over and had a Hot Wheel on one end. If I was her, that toy would have been in the trash. He wouldn't have had the enjoyment of a tricycle. He would have never got another bike or skates or anything with wheels on it for the rest of his life. Because he apparently was going to try to, he was suicidal. That was a suicide move. So she got him in that Hot Wheel. That thing, I'd have took it to the thrift store. Well, not even to the thrift store, because then somebody give it to their baby. I'd have broke that thing up, burnt it. It'd have ended up in a fire pit somewhere. He'd have never had that thing again, and I'd have never bought him another toy like that, because he was irresponsible. I don't think she was, though. I think she just turned her back, and that baby opened the door. Maybe she had the screen door. I don't know. She didn't know he was out. I know that. So we have our dough here. I'm going to cover it, and we're going to let it rest for 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, our timer has went off. Let me get my board. Time to roll this dough out. So I put the flour back, I had to laugh at myself sometimes. I'll be like, put it back where it belongs. All right, I'm gonna take some flour out of the bowl, put it on my board. This stuff, all the distractions out of your way. Take our dough out. I'm gonna make a cylinder out of it. Y'all will see me doing this a couple of times with different things. This time it's going to be sweet. Ooh, we might make some cherry pie. If I could find some cherry pie filling. I'm sure I could find cherry pie filling. That's another thing I used to eat. We used to have, I don't know who made it. Was it Hostess? They used to have cherry pies at the little corner store. People call them bodegas. I never called it a bodega when I was a kid. And I'm from New York. So, New York City, we called it a corner store. Or the Puerto Rican store. So it was usually, in my neighborhood, it was usually the Puerto Ricans who owned the local corner stores. It was usually the Puerto Ricans. And they had everything in them little stores. Anyway. Yeah, we go to the corner store and they used to have these little pies for 25 cents. They were baked though. Were they baked? I can't remember. They weren't that great. They weren't as good as Mickey D's. And that's what we're trying to simulate tonight. That's what we're trying to simulate. So I got a cylinder here, right? Put it on my board. chopper, if I could find it. You know, they always drink water when I'm on camera. That's them, one of them drinking water. They don't get thirsty till I get on camera. So I'm gonna cut this thing in half, that into thirds. And I think this one has more than this one. So now I'm gonna feel them to make sure they're around the same size. Okay, here's the fun part. Y'all are gonna see me do this a couple of times, and I'm only gonna do it like twice on camera this time. So we're gonna knead it out, right? Roll it into a ball, smash it down. Where's my rolling pin? Clinkety clink. I'm gonna roll this out. Move these out of the way. They're in the way. Try to get it thin. The thinner you get it, the more layers you're gonna have. Remember that. The flakier the crust is gonna be. So, roll it out. I wonder if they still teach home economics in school. I remember taking that class. They always encourage the girls to take, you know, cooking classes, homemaking classes like sewing, and that was junior high school. That was junior high school. So 7th and 8th grade in New York City is junior high school, and high school is 9th, 10th, and 11th. And elementary, of course, is 1 through 6, or kindergarten through 6. The junior high school is when I took the home ec class. I also took a wood class because I was, you know, I wanted to know how to do that also. They didn't want me in there, but I took that class. I was like, why can't I take it? And they just got this look on their face and just enrolled me in the class. All right, that's one. So we gotta get some, where's my oil? This is olive oil, and I got this spray bottle from Temu. There's extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna spray it on top of there, right? We're gonna, let me get it all over. We're gonna spray it on. This is gonna help us develop our layers. Glass everywhere. I'm gonna slit it right here. See that? I'm gonna slit it, and then I'm gonna flip it over on itself like this. See that? Into like little slices of pizza pie. And keep on moving it. Leave, Cyrus. Leave. Get. Coming to find out what I'm doing. I'm breathing all hard, like a stalker. So now I have like a pizza slice, right? And you take this and you pinch it under, pinch it under, pinch it under, and we're gonna make it into a balloon. Keep on pinching it under. And this is the bottom. Sealing it on the bottom, and there we go, we have one done. That goes in there. We're gonna rest these also. On to our next one, and I'm only gonna do 2 on camera. I'm gonna take that, flat it down. So here, you're in my way, in the way of progress. Put some flour on there so that the pin won't stick. Roll it out. More of a square than a circle right now. Fix that. Keep on rolling it out till you get what you think is the right circular size. Okay, I got a semicircle. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Unless it's not made by humans. Then it's really close. All right, so I'm gonna slit it. Okay, so I've slit it, right? And I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna flip it over. And I'm gonna keep flipping it over. Just like that. Over and over and over, all right? Then I'm gonna take the corners and I'm gonna start bringing them in on each other and make it into a balloon. You see that? Doesn't look like a balloon? Look at the balloon. Like a hot air balloon. That is your bottom. And then I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take my completed ball that is encased. All of the oil is encased and all of the layers encased, and I'm gonna put it in my bowl. We're gonna let that sit for 10 minutes. I'll do the other ones off camera, and I'll see you guys in about 10, 15 minutes when I finish all of them, okay? So the next thing we need to do is get our mixture together. And I got flour everywhere, but I'm gonna use some allspice, some ground allspice, and some cinnamon. So let's taste this thing and see what it's working with, because I've never used this before. It's from the Dollar Tree. Okay, it looks pretty good. Look at that. I'm gonna put it out into our bowl. Let me get a spoon. I'm gonna do a taste test. So I just dip the spoon in and put a glaze on there. Just like I thought, it needs some stuff. So we're gonna put some cinnamon. 3 shakes. And we're gonna put some allspice. 1 shake. Let me get another spoon and mix this thing together. And I'm breaking up these pieces a little bit because they're too big. They're too big for a fried apple pie. So I'm chopping them with the spoon. See that? I'm chopping them. They're slices and I need them to be chunks. That's better. Okay, let's do a taste test. So a little bit better. A little bit more cinnamon. And because I'm special and I'm West Indian, I don't know if it's West Indian thing or it's just me, I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot pepper in it, okay? Cayenne pepper. This is what I have. Just a tip. That's enough. That was like maybe a 1/16 of a teaspoon. Maybe. Still not spicy enough for me. Weird. Let me put a little bit more ground allspice in there. I might have to pull out the nutmeg because this thing is bland. Bland. Yeah, I'm gonna get some nutmeg. Where is the nutmeg? Ah, right here. Where you left me, baby? I'm right here waiting on you. Always there for me. You put my thing, let me put it down for a minute. Waiting on me, waiting for you. There we are. And of course, you would do this to your taste. I'm just doing what I do. Doctoring stuff. When I was a kid, we used to get a lot of box stuff. That's better. That is better. It's way better. Okay, and our timers went off. And our mixture is made. And our dough is ready. All right, I had to discipline my dogs. Got my egg, mixing it up. It has water in it. And I just turned on the sink and turned it off. And this is one egg. We're just using this to seal it, okay? So I'm gonna put this around the edges, right there. And if you put this in the oven, you can put the egg wash on top. It makes it nice and shiny. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna pinch it down. Just like that. All right, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna flip it back on itself. Just to make sure it's sealed. That's one done. Some more flour, move our egg mixture out the way. We're gonna do these two at a time. Roll it out. So someone told me something on one of my videos or in class. You take a towel, you put it under your board, and it stops your board from moving around. It stabilizes the board. And I keep forgetting to do that until the board starts moving around too much, and then I get scared I'm gonna drop my product. So the only thing moving now is the dough sliding around. Turn this thing around. Turn this fire down. I'm starting to smell the oil. Stretch it out, make it more of a circle. Okay, take my egg wash. I'm just gonna put it on half because that one had too much egg wash on it. Take my mixture, put it in the center. Take this, flap it over there, and close it up. Take my finger and tap it along Then I'm gonna flap it up, roll it up on itself like a blanket. Roll it up and pinch, 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 and roll it up and pinch. There we go. Okay. We just did our first two. We're gonna put that in the fire. Into the fire it goes! Time to fry it up. Pinch side down. That's one. Turn that fire up, I need it to fry. And that's two. While that one is frying, I'm gonna start doing the rest of them. Roll it. Turn it over. Get our pan ready. Take a look-see. And put them on the rack. I have the rack right here. On to the other two. Egg wash on one side. I discovered that egg wash on two sides makes it too slippery. Way too slippery. Flip it over. Pinch it to seal it. And our extra insurance is flipping it up on itself. Okay. Got this one. Flip it under. Okay, and I'm done. So I had 6 rolls, so I'm gonna freeze these 2. You can use these for dumplings. You can make a flatbread out of it. You can make a crust out of it. Just freeze them, defrost them, and use them. So I have 2 balls left. Let me separate them just in case I want to use one or whatever. Anyway, here is, I'm gonna take this one. Here are the 4 apple pies that we made. Let me turn it over on the pretty side. Both sides are pretty. Both sides are pretty. Both sides are the pretty side, the pinch side. There they are, right? Apple pies, fried apple pies. So which one is smaller? I have to share this because I can't eat it all. I cannot eat it all. Okay, this is one. I made them super big, right? I'll bring it down, let you see me cut. So I made 4 of them. Here's 3. Are they pretty? And here's the one for me. Well, I'm gonna try. And then I have 2 balls that I'm gonna put in the freezer, okay? So this dough can be used for dumplings, it could be used for flatbread, it could be used as pie crust or pizza crust, whatever you want, whatever you want. So I just realized something, you all. I thought I finished, but I didn't. So I just made 4 of these, and then I have 2 flatbread in the refrigerator that I could use for later for about 39 cents each. That's all it cost me. 39 cents for 4 of these and 2 pitas that I could do later or make something else out of. So this is the breakdown. Flour is 5-pound bag is $2.34. And when you break it down to what we use, it was 24 cents for the flour we used for this recipe. Baking powder is $1.98, and I broke it down and it was 3.66 cents for the recipe. That's liberal. Then the salt is 64 cents because I didn't use expensive salt, and that breaks down to 0.87 cents. So the filling was $1.25. The baking powder was 4 cents. The salt was 1 cent, and the flour was 24 cents. So in total, for the entire recipe, it costed $1.54. That's it. And I had 2 extra pie crusts. Now I put a lot of filling in these. Maybe I could have used less, but I mean, I have 4 of these and I have 2 extra shells in there. 39 cents, and that is not including the 2 shells that that is including the 2 shells that I have. It's 39 cents for the thing in total. So these actually cost about 35 cents to make. 35. I'll say 39 cents with the electricity. So this is Jamerica 5288. Cook your own food. I mean, I use filling from the Dollar Tree, and I suggest Dollar Tree is a good place to find some bargains. I go in there. I went in there today, actually, and I bought some carry-along, some plastic containers, and a couple of other things. That is a good place to find some inexpensive food. But you could also go to Walmart, into your supermarkets, and you can find this stuff and just make it yourself. 39 cents for 4 of these, and they're huge. Look at this plate. They're huge. That's one of the small ones. They are huge. I already ate one, so they are huge. So make your own. I will see you on the next one, all right? You all take care, and God bless. Make your own food. You know what was in there, and it's going to cost you a lot less. It's just going to cost you some time. Get the kids to help you. Don't let them fry nothing, though. I told you my stories. This is Jamerica 5288. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.